Now then, and welcome back to another episode on the FTOG server, playing some more Quantus. Still in the coal era, the first era of play. And we've got a lot of things still locked so that we can't open up. But I have been doing a little bit of work still around in the building age, as it were. It's kind of like all of the building supplies and building materials are available to us in this first era. And next era is the Iron Age, or the Iron Era, and we unlock Tinker's Construct for ore smelting and doubling. We unlock Tinker IO for automating and making that Tinker's Construct a bit quicker. We get hopper ducts, and we also get things like iron chests and storage drawers with all the interesting storage mechanics of storage drawers. But for right now, we've got all the building stuff and all of the food stuff, like Pam's Harvest Craft stuff and cooking with blockheads and all that kind of stuff. So at the last episode, I was going to chop this edge off, which I've done. It took me quite a while to do, but I've done it. And then build some farms up in here, and basically move these farms up to there so that they're internal. And I'm going to show you that today, and I'm going to show you a bit of that today. We'll do a bit of planning on that today. But just to get rid of all of that mountainside, just to get rid of that, I cut down the side here, and just basically it was all the way out to this point here, and it sloped in on up there, and I took it all down. Now, two things were at fault there. First of all, I was playing on the old server. Yes, there was a new server, there was a server change. So all of this I did on the old server, and then I started hacking that down and cutting it all back in the last episode on the old server. Then after I'd finished recording the episode, I found out that it was the old server and it had been left on, and that I had to come and do it all on the new server. Fortunately though, I already knew what I was doing here. I've done something slightly different. I've sloped up there to slope in together to make it a bit more arched into each other there. Still put the same flags up, the banners up. Still done the same arches, did the smaller arches on here, changed the pillars placement and stuff like that. I've still got some hidden lighting underneath these bits here and here. So there's no obvious lighting, but it is well lit so the mobs don't spawn. We've got these bits showing the grass and all that kind of stuff. That's all. It's all still as it was. A few minor tweaks because I did it all on the old server instead of doing it all on the new server. I can't believe that I missed that note that we had changed servers. And I can't believe the old server was left running so that we could get on it and carry on working. Let me show you this in here. Now, because we haven't got the Tinker's Construct tools yet, and I haven't really got a lot of diamond tools, I haven't really got a lot of diamonds, so I had to come up with something creative. Iron pickaxes with enchantments on was as creative as I got. So I got iron pickaxes and lapis, went down to the enchanting area, got enough XP, and then just put low-level enchantments, like the first one lapis enchantment on like 6, maybe 8 iron pickaxes, and then I used all those iron pickaxes to half durability, and then I combined them, so I ended up from 8 pickaxes to 4 pickaxes, but I combined them in such a way that they were doubling up the enchantment. So an unbreaking 1 plus an efficiency 1 became an efficiency plus unbreaking pickaxe, and so on, until eventually I ended up with these 2 pickaxes. I would use all my pickaxes, all 8 pickaxes, down to half durability, then combine them to repair them, and then use all 4 of those and then combine them and repair them. And I did that a few times, and I ended up with 2 unbreaking 2 efficiency 3 pickaxes. And then the plan was to come along and combine those last 2 to make 1 efficiency 4 breaking 3 pickaxe at 26 levels of experience. But by that point, I had already pretty much done what I wanted to do over here, so I didn't have to go back and do that final enchant to make that. I can now use those to get me diamonds, and this Fortune 3 diamond pickaxe to pick up the diamonds to be able to make loads of new diamond stuff in the future when I go mining. But around here, let's have a look, see what I've managed to achieve so far. Some of the areas have been brought into like this. I wanted to square the area off, and we had kind of an irregular mountainside which we built around, and I didn't want to go around changing all of this because I was happy with the natural shape of it. It kind of runs straight along here, and then there's a little balcony area coming off, just because that's where it came out naturally. And this is so that I can look down into whatever I build in this area, which I'm going to build something in this area, but I don't know what yet. I'm probably going to do Pam's Harvest Craft crops in there, because I don't use the Pam's Harvest Craft crops enough. Even with cooking with blockheads, I'm still going to eat baked potatoes because they're easy. Easy to produce, easy to cook, easy to manufacture. So I've got these little areas here which have now come in from the outside edge. They've still got half slabs on the top, so mobs can't spawn on the outside edge. But it's basically squared the internals off to give an internal downstairs type structure. So this downstairs structure still needs a bit of emptying out. But I figured I'd wait until we've got Tinker's Construct to be able to smash those out with 3x3 hammers very, very quickly. Which I'd have loved to have been able to do the whole thing with 3x3 hammers, but of course I decided to start the project and knock all this side of the mountain down before I had the tools for the job, so I had to use the iron tools. And I've built this up so that we've got a little lip here. I think I'm actually going to have it so that it's one taller. Let's knock one out here. It's actually 1.5 blocks taller than the roof of this, which is a similar design to the way I did it over here, over there, look. And I quite like that. I like that with the little archway bit on the top of 1.5 blocks because of the half slab. So 1.5 blocks, and then the arch bit on the top with torches probably in between those. That's the plan. So I was figuring out where the first level of the farms was going to be, and it's going to be here. So internal, inside here, we've got to plan out where our farms are going to be. Now, we haven't got any farm automation yet. We haven't got any farm automation for a little while, really. So I've got to figure out how to make it so that it works for vanilla farms for now. And then in the future, I've got enough space to change it around and expand it and mess about with it some more. And do some other bits and pieces with it. But for now, we're just going to take some dirt. And I'll plot out the places around here. And some more stone. I've got the stone over here already. Take some more stone and do that as well. And also I could do with buckets of water, couldn't I? Yeah, that would be helpful. Let's go and get an infinite water source going. Buckets. Do I have no buckets right now? I guess I don't have any buckets right now. I don't know where I've put my bucket. And I've also got to go hunting for other animals, because I've only got pigs at the minute. I've only got what naturally came here. The pigs are okay though, because pork is a good source of food, and carrots are easy to grow and feed the pigs quite nicely. Baked potatoes are nice, easy to grow as well, so it's all very vanilla. I don't need a cow farm, and I don't need Pam's Harvest stuff. It's all just makes things a little bit more interesting and colourful by having those sort of things. So I'm going to develop them, but I'm not planning on using them. So for me, a baked potato farm or a cooked pork chop farm is all I really need. Baked potato farm is literally all I really need. So I don't even need the cows. But I'm going to bring all of the different animal types and all of the different farming types and stuff in here, because that's what we do in Minecraft. We bring stuff that we don't really need together, and we make fancy and elaborate things because we want to, because we fancy to. Another thing to consider is that the I think it's actually additions, the little worms that do a 3x3 area and keep it hydrated and moist and all that kind of stuff. They need 3x3 areas. So I'll probably be setting my farms up with a 3x3 area setup like this. And that also lends itself nicely to the shape and size I've got here. I think I need a back wall along there though, but kind of it works. A little walkway around them. I could even just go internally a little bit and just dig into the mountainside there a little bit. Just as long as these bits are in open air and it's got some pathways running around them, that'll work. And then from this height, I'm still able to see over the battlements and stuff like that. So we'll have some farms like this set up, and I don't really need everything, but some of the raw materials will be good. So let's have, let's say, 4 farms on this side for all of those raw materials. And later on we will change this and have some kind of automation farms where the farming will harvest automatically. It'll be the magic era to get the farming done first, because the second era is the iron era, where we'll have all the storage from storage drawers, and we'll have hopper ducts for moving stuff around into storage drawers. And yeah, we'll still just have the cooking with blockheads and Pam's Harvestcraft stuff for food. We won't have any kind of farming side of things to do anything. We won't be able to do much farming. So, yeah, we're still not automating our farms. Which means still I've got to come up here and do everything vanilla-wise. Vanilla farming-wise, well, there's lots of... Oh, I fell in. I've got to be careful of doing that. I've got to be careful not to do that again, because I don't want to keep falling into that bit. Vanilla-wise, auto farms revolve around having a villager. Having a villager that can basically replant the stocks, and anything that's left over just sort of gets dropped down around it. Which is good, which is okay, so long as I can create something like that. And by the time I've created something vanilla, then we'll have something automated to come along. So I may as well just do manual farms for now, wouldn't I? So we'll just have some like pig farms and stuff going around here. So if I've got a pig farm, then having a couple of carrot farms will be good around here. So I have a couple of carrot farms on the edge. That'll kind of mirror those over there. We'll mirror it again because I like to have symmetry. So we'll have 2 sets of farms. Give me some more dirt, thank you. We'll have 2 sets of farms again, like this. And then we need some animal farms. So for the animals, I think I'm going to need some grass for the cows and the pigs and the sheep and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to kind of keep them localized, because there's a Botania farming in Era 3 that I've been looking at and working on for another series. So I kind of like that, and I'll probably do some more of that. Now this is going to mess up that one doorway, but that doorway is only a temporary just to get me up here, so I'll change that around in a bit as well. Like that. So we'll have a cow, a sheep, a pig, and a chicken farm. And then in the centre, what are we going to have in the centre? Well, for no reason whatsoever, just fill in another big farm here, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. And I could just put a water source in the middle. And have it 6 by 7. 6 by 7 doesn't sound right either, does it? That's not very symmetrical. But that would generally work, wouldn't it? So I could have a water trench in the middle and put the rest of the dirt around the side here. And then put the water in the middle here. And for me, that will be a good start for the farms. Just for the manual farms, I want to just put something in going around in between them, which will probably be some stone or wood or something. And then I can come up and manually do the farming for now. Put some fences around these animal farms, and then later on automate the animal farms a little bit better in the future. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we need to next really go out and find some stuff. So I want to do some exploring, because, well, setting up those farms is nice and easy, and you all know how to do setting up farms. So I'm not really showing you anything new there. But I want to go out and explore and find some things. I want to find other animals and the like. And there's also an item that was found in a dungeon. And I can't remember what it's called, but I think it was Non-Sanity found one, and then people have been using it. And over at the Iron Farm, people have been using it. But I want to get myself sorted out to go off exploring in the mining dimension. So we're going to have a look at baggins today. I'm going to get some bags, so that I can carry a load of stuff around in bags. And let's see what we've got. The tier 1 a magenta bag would be nice to start off with. That's a soulbound. Wow, there's lots of things needed for that. We're not going that far. So I'm going to need some string, some wool, magenta wool to make a magenta bag, and a chest. I don't think I've got enough of any of those things. I've got one piece there, and I've got a couple of bits of string. And that's it. So I'm going to have to go and do some exploring to get some of that first. Maybe plant some cotton and grow some cotton and do a little bit of setting things up. Could have the cotton growing while I'm setting up the farms over there and doing all the extra bits and pieces to finish that off. I think I'll use wood. I think I'll go around with wood, but I may chisel the wood around those. Gather up enough string and that to make a few bags, and we'll have a look. I'll also make a sleeping bag for while we're out in the wilderness, and I'm going to look at upgrades as well, doing bags upgrades. So we're going to have a mess around with a baggins mod, but I need to grow some string first. I need to grow cotton and string before we get on with that. So what could be good for pathways in a gardeny area? I think just having the kind of uneven jungle planks will probably look the best. Just so it's not quite perfect, but it's still in keeping with the ground floor here, the ground area. I'm just going to get these set up around here, just so we've got something of a flooring around here, like so. So I'll set up these farms, and I'll be back. If you just have a look here, though, look, that looks quite nice on the map. Looks quite nice on the map as a few sets of farms. And in theory, I should be able to farm everything I'm going to need from these kind of farms. But let's do the fortifications and grow some crops and stuff while we're getting ready for an adventure. I've done these arches from Architecture Craft. I've done these arches in here to kind of support the whole mountain so it doesn't fall in on the farms. And I've put 2 pens on this side with the back to the wall, so we can have some kind of automation in the wall back there for either shearing sheep or feeding animals or whatever behind there when the time comes, and that will then go into the behind the scenes stuff. And I've got these in front and around, which currently are all going to be producing string and cotton and stuff, so I'm going to take all this flax and cotton and put those seeds somewhere else for now. This main section here in front, I'll probably put my food source for now, just so that I can get it. I have been generating quite a bit of string and cotton and all that, ready to make all these bags for the adventure. But I've also been getting carried away with the whole building the thing in the first place. I've gone with oak wood instead of jungle wood, so the jungle wood paths around the place and then the oak wood here. But there's another little thing that I wanted to test out, and I think I'm going to take all this up and do something different. Because I've seen something on my Patreon server that one of the patrons was doing, and I think I kind of like it. So I'm going to put this over here for now, and then test that out. So, yeah, these can all just farm up a load of string for me. Let's put the cotton in this next one here, because the cotton's slightly more difficult to process. And we also need the cotton to make string. So, yeah, we get cotton crops. We also get string that way. So I'm getting string that way around. Easier. There we go. And the final one, well, I'll just eat that. Can I eat it? No, I can't eat it. Just get rid of it that way. So, yeah, there's a thing that I wanted to test out. But also, I'd need to get these sorted out around this bit. I need to get them turned around the right way. So we've got a nice battlement style thing going on. I do need something for the corners, which I haven't decided yet. But we're going to have this kind of battlements running around. I think that one there actually needs to be changed for a full solid block, because the solid blocks are going to go up the side there. So let's change that around now while I think about it, so I don't forget. And then these would carry on going around this way, kind of like this, with light sources on the wall in between, like that, just to continue the battlement feel around the place, which is good. Yeah, and then I'll continue that. I've also got all the work to do around here, going around the bridge, but that'll be another day. We'll just get this bit done for now. And I've got to figure out what I can put on the corner there. I think there's a corner unit, kind of corner circular bit. And all I've been doing is like breaking these off, but putting the basic fences, the architectural craft block fence type thing, the railing there. Slightly different coloured railings to the ones that are down there, but tying in the oak colour scheme. So just to give it an added little bit of kind of fortification, if you like. Nothing's coming in there. Nothing's coming to break into my farms. And it also rounds this area off nicely. It gives it a nice look. On the map above, it is looking pretty good as well, because it's looking nice and symmetrical and even farm-wise. It's looking good. I like. So we got that. That's all good. But the thing that I've been spotting on my Patreon server, because the Patreon server now has Quantus modpack installed. I installed it the other day for them. The thing that I like that they've done is they've added some kind of chisel and bitsy look. Let's put some oak wood down. Why not? I've got oak wood spares, so we'll just put some oak wood down here. They raised their beds, raised their gardens, as it were, raised their garden beds. Oh, that's not going to work there. Okay, maybe that's not going to work at all. Dang it. Dang it, man, dang it. Maybe there is something else I could do instead. I could do it on a small... Oh, it's because I put the fences there. If I hadn't put the fences there, then I'd be good here. If I did different fences around here to keep the animals in, then maybe. Okay, the sizing isn't working out for me. I was going to chisel and bits some edging around here just to raise the edges around it and give it a little bit of detail. I suppose I still can, in a way. As long as the crops can still grow in these areas, I can still raise the bed slightly. So I'll put this back, and we'll start doing a little chisel and bits around the edge and see what it looks like. I think small logs would probably look the best overall. Almost like it's lifted up slightly. So raised beds, we'll put some of those in there. They'll keep those... They're brilliant because they'll nourish the soil and everything. These are just the best thing. These are lovely worms. Lovely, lovely worms. That's the only time you're going to hear me say lovely worms. I like the lovely worms. The lovely worms are awesome. And there was a flax there. And they bone meal the crops as well. It's awesome. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to make something chiseled. And we're going to use oak wood to chisel it. Let's put a piece down here so that I can use that to chisel from. And we'll use chisel bits, a few planes of wood off. And what we want to do then is add it in a little log form, if I can. If I can, I will. Right, so we'll make it into a little plane, connected plane, small cubes. Small cubes. Let's try small cubes around the side. So if I put small cubes of this around the outside here. Oh, it didn't quite work there. Nope, that didn't work. Get off. Get off. There. Put that there. Okay, I think I've broken it already. That's not what I was planning on doing. I can do connected things there in a minute, can I? It's so low to the ground, it's hard work to see. Right, let's do it there. Okay, so we'll kind of make a loggy platform around the outside edge. All the way around. I think I can duplicate this more after I've done it once. I can just duplicate the pieces. That looks about right. And bring it around this side as well. That, and bring it around here. We've got to make sure that we don't have... What's that? Oh, that's got the torch in the way. We've got to make sure that it doesn't overhang where the crops are going to grow. Because we want the crops to grow nicely there. Right, so we got this layer like this. I think maybe that's big enough. It looks a bit odd because it's wood. It's wood logs. That might be something I need to change. I would like it to look like that all the way around. But if I go up slightly more on these loggy bits, then what? We kind of have that definition there. If I can take that layer out underneath and change these blocks to chisel and bits blocks as well, and place them in there like that, then do we get the look, the right look? We do get the right look. It's just a lot of detailed placement to make it work in the first place. And yeah, it is giving the colour scheme on this side as well. It's just giving us that on the top. So I might have to do a little lip on it. And then what they were doing was they were bringing another noggin out here of a different kind, just to make it look like it was holding everything into the ground properly. Just that little bit there. But I need a layer on the top of it. I can still climb over it into the farm without trampling the farm. but it just kind of gives the farms a little bit of a raised surround. So let me work on this a little bit longer, and I'll show you the results in a bit. Once you get started with Chisels Bits, there's just no stopping until you've literally fall over from exhaustion and have to call it quits. Sometimes projects just take forever, but the amount of detail you can add is very, very rewarding. If you're not checking out Torgal, check out Torgal, because he has made a very, very awesome looking tavern at spawn. And I don't think he's revealed it in a video episode as yet, but he's been working on it a long time, and I've been past it a few times without recording, and it looks awesome. It looks immense, and it's mostly all Chisels Bits, which makes it even more exciting to look at. There's quite a lot of people on the server who are doing Chisels Bits right now because there's not a lot of techie automation to do, which I'm pretty sure as soon as there's that, they'll be doing that forever. But the Chisels Bits age is here. It's kind of the era of the chisel. Even though the chisel is an iron tool, it's the era of the chisel. What I've been doing though, right, is I've basically been taking a plane off. So I've been planing off the edges around here. So I take off the edge and I put a plane of thingy on. So I take a full plane of that, right? And then inside here, if we get rid of this here, right? Inside here, you can see that it's a full plane of then the wood. So we just take a plane off of the planks, put a plane on of the wood, and that made it nice and quick and easy just to go around and add this first layer of detail all around here. So instead of having that ugly bit of something, a gap, where this goes down a pixel because it's been irrigated, it goes down a pixel. I've put that pixel in there, and then we've added a little row all the way around it just to raise it slightly, so it actually looks like it's set out properly as beds for gardening. Well, yeah, allotment beds, which is quite nice, and the little extra details on the corners where the corner posts would go. Now, I saw this on the Patreon server, but it was slightly different than this though, because it was raised beds. And I've gone beds inlaid beds because, well, of the size and space that I've got. But it's still working out okay. And then placing the corner, which is just one cube in the corner, and then just placing 2 lines of on there. And I've chosen to use the oak because I wanted that oak wood look. I wanted the bark look about it. Got to do those like so, and just work around the plots like that. Doing all the plots that way. The trouble is that when I got to doing these edges, right, of course this block is being used because I'm putting these onto the blocks. And I can't go onto this block here where the crop is growing, so I've got to go onto this block here on this side. So as soon as I go onto this block, let's just put that there for now. This block above becomes a Chisels Bits block. So this whole thing becomes a Chisels Bits block. As you can see, roughly the outline there is showing the full thing is a Chisels Bits block, which means that I couldn't put fence posts down. And if I can't put fence posts down, then I can't do the fences and gates that I was intending on doing for the animals in this section. So I've got to think of a new area of expertise for this. Chisels Bits don't make an actual gate that I can physically go in and out, so I still need a vanilla gate going in and out of those sections. I can make them a bit smaller though, so I will continue doing the edging around those a bit later. What I was thinking though, why is that stone bits? I don't know where I got stone bits from. I must have accidentally chiseled a bit of stone somewhere, maybe around here somewhere. I don't know. I also chiseled these slightly so that they were slightly higher, so those blocks are slightly more pronounced. It just adds that little bit extra effect. I might do it a little bit more though, and just take it up another 1, 2, maybe even 3. Just add 4, maybe take it all the way up to that one, and make it almost half slabs running along there. Although half slabs, I could probably have just made half slabs, so that's a bit pointless. But still, yeah, we'll get rid of that and we'll do that again later. I've now got to consider where I'm going to put my oak fences and gates to get into these. And it looks like I'm going to have to do something along these lines and bring them in to this next level, because I can't place any fences down here. I've got to place fences along here. But having a decent size is still okay. I still kind of get a decent size. It's going to be a 3x2 area, just for a few animals. It's not going to have too many animals, obviously, but it's going to have just enough animals. And then give me that back, because that's not supposed to be a fence gate. It's supposed to be a fence gate there and a fence post there. It's still giving me a fair amount of space for the animals. But not quite as much as I'd like. When it's automated feeding and harvesting and that kind of stuff, then that'll be okay, because I'll have some method for them to drop down into a lower area. But for now, I suppose that will have to be it, because I don't really have any other options. I don't really have another option to how I can do it, other than putting them in a different level altogether, which I could do. I could put them down a level a bit later on, but for now, let's just do it like that. And then I can have all of the farms working and organised. I will change the dirt from underneath there to be wooden planks as well. I could even extend it in slightly, so I could maybe take it inside and just open those sections up slightly, because we've got an upright there which will be a pillar and an upright there which will be a pillar. So if I take those two middle pillars out, I can actually take it deeper into the mountain and have something there to have rows of animal facilities. Oh, I'm down. I'm in. Yeah, so I've got all that to do, and I'm still slowly but surely working on building up a supply of string to build the bags, or create the bags. So I've still got all that to do. I'm still coming over here and harvesting every once in a while to try and get this sorted. And as I'm working through here, I'm going to start adding more crops in to generate a lot of string as quickly as possible, so I can still make all these bags. But I think that the adventure itself will be next episode. So, yeah, I don't know if I've got enough bags right now. I'd also like to have the different coloured dyes around. I know they're floating around to do different coloured bags. I'm pretty sure that some of these bags from Bagginses have certain things that they can be put into them. I think that's how it used to be. But the upgrades are a thing that I need to work on as well. We've got an iron farm now, which I'll show you. I might show you that next episode, actually. I might show you a few things next episode and go exploring. So next week we'll probably have a bit of an explore to get some bits and pieces together that we're going to need for the expansion. We are also going to be gathering up next week, well, killing the dragon. That's happening tonight, actually. They're killing the dragon tonight. I may be able to go and do the killing the dragon as well. So I may get involved in killing the dragon tonight. It depends on whether or not my plans fall through and I can get on the server to join in. Because it's different time zones, they're in the American time zones. The majority of the players on the FTOG server are in the American time zones. I've got to be careful because I can't commit to everything all the time. But I'll try. And I'm now just going to carry on finishing off these bits and occasionally placing them wrongly. And, yeah, solve this issue and get my farm sorted out. And then bring the pigs up. And we need to do exploring before I can expand it even further. We also need to have a few other bits and pieces unlocked from the overall Iron Age before I can store things properly. And we're going to need some things unlocked from the Magic era for me to do the magic stuff, to automatically process things and do stuff, which would be cool enough. I keep making that one same mistake. If I had Chisel and Bits gates, if there was physically a Chisel and Bits gate, then I would potentially make those into Chisel and Bits pens. Another opportunity, potentially, is to do Chisel and Bits pens down there and have the gates on the inside somehow, and gate them off from the inside. That might be another way of doing things. But for right now, I should try and keep things as simple as possible so that they don't become too time-consuming when I need to get other things done. I've got a lot of building still to do with a castle this size, with a mountain this size, and we've got many eras to process through. I think we've basically covered most of the first era with the building blocks. There are the flat coloured blocks as well to deal with. But we've done the Chisel and Bits in, we've done the Chisel mod, and we've also shown a few bits and pieces for the architecture craft. So I'm quite satisfied that we've got all the basics in there. So now any builds that I do in the future, you'll kind of know in this series where the original stuff comes from. And yeah, I'm nearly done. And it's night. And I suppose we should call it the end of the episode, because I'm never going to go exploring this episode. I'm going to carry on doing this funky stuff. Making my crop plots all nice and neat. Any difference on the map? Does make it look stone around on the map, which will lend to the thing, I guess, maybe. Each one of these Chisel and Bits blocks becomes a stone block according to the map, which is okay. I didn't necessarily want the wood showing anyway. But that is it for today's episode, folks. So I am going to say goodbye to you all, and thank you very, very much for watching another episode of Quantus. I'll be back after the weekend, maybe with a dragon fight, possibly with some exploring of the mining world to try and bring back some cool things to put into my farms and stuff. Or we're maybe just building the next section. I have got plans for a tree farm next as well. Again, no automation yet, so we've got to wait a few eras before we can automate everything. It's just making the place look nice for the automation to fit in when we unlock the next eras. And once we've got the Tinker stuff next week, we should be moving on to the magic eras, which will be fun. Lots of cool magic things happening in the castle. That'd be great. But until then, I've waffled on long enough. Thank you very much for sticking with me. Thank you very much for liking and your comments down below. I will see you in the next episode of Quantus on the FTOG server.